Okay, here's an example of a cross where I'm happy. Elvis is here, Dylan is here. Maybe Dylan or Elvis might have felt, oh, let me get closer to the ball and stepped up, but they didn't. They stayed. Look, even Elvis backed up. I love that, Elvis. You backed up because you know the ball's going to come to number 14. That's the only place it's going. And they go big, and they kick it out of bounds. Okay, here's a build. Dylan into Char. Char has me, has back to Dill. Dill all the way down to Drew. This was the play I wanted to show you, Drew. This is amazing, Drew. This is literally amazing. So right now, Drew, I would still argue you're a little too high, but I really like what you're thinking. Boom. I love this, Drew. I'm a big fan of this. Brandon is here. This is amazing, Drew. This is amazing. Look what happens. He goes to Dylan. He goes to press Brandon, basically, because that's what we've been doing all game. And you're wide open. Amazing, Drew. Now you got to go through the middle, which you do. It's not a great pass, unfortunately, to Dom, who I think manages to get it to Marcus, though, who does a great job. And then you're in, Dom, if we can get it into our Drew, if we could have gotten into you. And then Marcus, good reaction. But this is great. And this goes back to that working on the 1-2 thing. So instead, Drew, instead of running like a touch and then running forward, run underneath Dom. So it's Dom and then back underneath to you. So it's Drew to Dom, back to Drew, instead of Drew and then you're running to your right shoulder, you run to your left shoulder, and he can lay it off to you easier because also it should go to his right foot. But then he does a good job to get a flick on it, so then Marcus can get it, and if Marcus could do one more sequence to Dom, then Drew was in, which, but good reaction, Marcus. This happens very rarely, but Brandon, I'm going to help you with it. Right when Charlie gets it, you open up wide. I want you to try and come inside instead, which I know would be difficult. But the problem with this sequence is when you go wide immediately, first of all, the press begins, and now you're forced to a straight line pass because Dylan's not an option. So instead, what should happen in the beginning with this Charlie, in the future, if there's a guy striker here, you need to back up, get him in front of you, and then get in shape. Because otherwise, he can pop up from behind you. And the problem is if Dylan drops off right now to go there, he's already being man-marked by him. So Charlie, in the future, just go backwards, put the ball down, and then we'll be able to play much better. Then here's B. B plays it into a straight line pass, which is my least favorite pass of all time. I'd rather, Brandon, you dribble backwards and freaking do a cartwheel before you pass it straight down the line. Even though I know it goes for a throw, go back, cut it, go backwards, and come back through the middle. This is literally why we play the model. So this sequence does not occur. One of the reasons. Brandon, this is a move we're going to work on for throw-ins. Is I'm going to come at you, I have to be square to you almost. So like here, I'm at a slight angle to you, which makes it more difficult. It's a little better for me sometimes because then I can take a touch and give it back to you. But if I come at you like from here in a straight line, you overthrow it to my right foot. I do my dummy, which is what I wanted to do, but the ball was too slow. And I was at an angle, so that was its own problem. So then I end up trying to post up. I should just give it to Dylan. I don't know why I don't do that. Just give it to Dylan, and we'd be fine. Give it to you, you're in a screwed position. Drew tries to turn, we try and get it back, and then we end up getting it back, and then we still play out of it, watch, which I'm very happy about. Dylan tries to play out of it and gets fouled, which is fine for me. That's how I prefer. Drew and Keem, this sequence is my fault. Zev should have turned, and pinged Ari. That's what should have happened. Turn, ping Ari. You would have had pressure, but it would have been the move. But you two are too far away from me. This is a 20-yard distance, both of you. Look how far this triangle is. I do not want the shape of a triangle to look like that for us. Keem, you should be right here. And Drew, you should be right here. And Drew, eventually, when I do pass the ball to you, where I think you should be, which is a bad pass by me. You're not there, so I shouldn't pass it to you. But both of you two are too high. Should be, remember, here's the first line, here's the second line, here's the third line. You should be right behind the third line. I'm behind the first line, Jaden's behind the second line, you're behind the third line. That's how it should be. So you're too far away, both of you two.